Hey everybody, welcome back. We are back for another episode of the Book of Boba Fett here with our normal watch party. Just you and me this week.
Malik, you are not here with us tonight, but you're here with us in spirit, Malik, if you are watching us.
Exactly. So let's get this started. I'm Mike Sandoval, and the person to my video right.
Once again, it is me, the J to the E to the double F free. It's a new year.
Yes.
It's a new day. 2022 is not off to a great start. We're living in a dystopia. The world has gone to hell. But you know what? Mike Sandoval? We've got a new episode of the Book of Boba Fett, so who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares that we're living in a dystopia and a never-ending global pandemic?
And
at least we've got new Star Wars on TV on Disney Plus every week. And we are here at MUSE with the Book of Boba Fett watch party, episode 3. Yeah. Thank God.
And it's been a crazy month already. I mean, let's be honest.
We're not even 2 weeks into the year.
Much has been, before we get into talk about Book of Boba Fett, so much has been pushed.
I have to laugh at it.
Exactly.
I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's having a good year. Stay safe. Do what you got to do. And let's beat this together.
Exactly. So did you get to go to Scream tonight?
I went to see a movie tonight for a movie that's coming out this week. And I saw a movie.
Okay. I just said the name already because...
Oh, yeah.
Because we've interviewed... We got an interview by one of the stars. So we have Jenna Ortega coming in later this week. We already did the interview. So it's hard to do an interview when you haven't seen the movie. So
the movie which I saw, why did Paramount not invite you to see the movie?
We didn't get it through Paramount. We got it through a third-party publicist. Well, and it was last minute, and it was just hard. It was one of the hard interviews. But like, I have a feeling like this is the way the month is going to be like, because everything's been pushed and arranged and changed.
You were doing busy interviews lately. I mean, you got Cody Rhodes and Jennifer Nettles with the Go. And Cody Rhodes is like, he's one of the biggest stars on the planet right now.
Exactly. And we got, like, it's great. It's been a great start in that sense. But like, we put in for the Critics' Choice Awards, we put in for the Grammys,
right?
And everything got pushed.
Jennifer Nettles was very charming. I was a good interview.
So nice. And yesterday we interviewed Tina Maj. I'm gonna screw up her name again, and I'm sorry, Tina. If you happen to drop on this and you watch it, I don't know why I have such a hard time with your name, Marjorie.
Tina
Margarino. There you go.
Tina Majorino or Margarino?
Yeah, Majorino.
Is that Italian?
Yes. And I don't know why I have such a hard time with her name. And I had a hard time with her name when doing the interview. But we did an interview with her yesterday, and she's
she's a little girl from Waterworld.
Yep, exactly. And you have to go see the interview, everybody, if you're on.
Oh, I have to watch this interview now.
I literally asked her, like, what is there a character that you would like to revisit? And she had mentioned something, I don't know, maybe Waterworld and everything. I go, and but we kind of got into it, and I go, would you want to revisit your character on Waterworld, except this time at Universal Studios Hollywood? And she started busting up laughing. She goes, I can't believe that show is still on. And I go, yeah, they just opened a new one in the new Beijing.
This is crazy. She's like in Waterworld, then in Napoleon Dynamite. You know, she's done True Blood. It's quite an interesting career.
Yeah, she's had a really cool career. I mean, she's been constantly working, and she has new projects coming up. And really amazing person. Like
I like that, because it's tough when you start in the business that young, at that young age, and you essentially grow up. Because the business, like show business, can, like, especially when you're a kid and you start that young, it can chew you up and spit you out.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
It sounds like she's doing well, though, so I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. But since we're doing the Book of Boba Fett,
Yes.
I guess we better get into topic. So so episode. So what do you think? What are you expecting for this week's episode?
I don't feel like we're quite done with the flashback narrative.
Mhm.
So I guess this begs a question. If we're getting 7 episodes, do you think the flashback thing is going to be continuous throughout this whole miniseries or season, or what?
I don't know. I think there's a part of me that feels like it is, and there's a part of me that feels like this episode and possibly the next episode will be the last of it, and then we'll be in the future
I
potentially.
kind because I think like I don't think the flashback stuff is bad,
Mm-mm.
but I feel I'm more interested in the here and now. Like
Yeah,
I get the gist of what happened with Boba. He went through an ordeal and he went on his little vision quest, and I feel like he has a new purpose now, but I feel like now we have to see why he decides to leave the Tusken Raider tribe and go looking for his armor again.
right.
So maybe we'll see him like see Cobb Vanth
Yeah.
in another flashback, or he
Mhm.
starts tracking Cobb Vanth, and I imagine we'll see how he finds Fennec's body at some point, which I guess happened all the way back in the first season of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that through the whole season, though. I
Mhm.
feel like that's going to get rather banal,
Mhm.
because I feel like all that stuff with the twins and Black, the Wookiee,
Black. Shoot, I forgot what his name is.
Black
But I think we were the first ones.
Cranston.
Yeah,
I can't say it right. Black, uh,
chrysanthemum.
Kersantin. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Just
I
like I
want to
have with
see more
just like
the
the trouble I have with
twins.
Tina's last name, you have with that one.
So like last week we had Black Chrysanthemum, the
Hmm.
twins, Jabba the
The
Hutt's
Hutt.
cousins. All
Hmm.
that was very fascinating to me, and it
Hmm.
seems like we're gearing up for like this crime syndicate war or something,
Yeah.
or just a big
Gang war.
gang war. So I kind of want to get to that already.
Yeah.
Focus on that more so than I but I feel like they are going to continue the flashbacks at least this week, but I don't want it to run through the whole. It could be an ongoing thing. Like remember what was that show? Once Upon a Time. Did you ever watch Once Upon a Time?
I did for the first couple seasons, and then I kind of dropped
Like
out.
the first couple seasons, the flashback narrative was like a continuous ongoing thing, remember,
Yeah.
where you would kind of see the Storybrooke people in the here and now, and then you would kind of see constant flashbacks showing how they got to that point.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's kind of what a
Hmm.
similar kind of dual narrative is going to be. I get the sense it could be continuous this season, but we'll see.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm wondering, like, how much of this. I know it's leading to a point in some sense of what
Hmm.
happened with him and the Sand People or the Tusken Raiders, uh, and how that was all going to pan out, and what he learns on it or whatever he's done. And something tells me like the Tusken Raiders are going to help him out in something within some point towards the end. But it's like I think we're getting
Will
close to the end of that though.
Will he still have a relationship with the Tusken Raiders,
Mhm.
or was it severed?
Yeah.
Like, can he go to them and like, if this gang war really heats up, can he rely on them for their help, or is he excommunicated? What do you think?
Yeah. Uh, Something tells me it's going to be where he's going to rely on them to help him.
Interesting.
That's what I have a feeling. That's what they're working on. I mean, it could change entirely, but that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so I'm looking at the cast list for episode 2.
Hmm.
Of course, we had Frank Trigg
Hmm.
as one of the Gamorrean guards. So Robert Rodriguez was credited as the mayor. So he was
Hmm.
that. What are those hammerhead aliens called in Star Wars?
I don't know. I always call them hammerheads, but I don't know what their real names are.
Momon Nadon. What is their? I'm trying. They're Ithorians. So Robert Rodriguez apparently either played or voiced Mayor Mark Shies. Someone pointed out on Twitter, I forget who, so I apologize for not proper. But if you say it really fast a bunch of times, it sounds like Mayor McCheese. Do you think? So do you think that's where they got the name from for Mayor Mark Shies, the mayor of Mos Espa?
I don't think so, but it's a good story.
That'd be fun. I think it'd be funny if, like, I don't know, like one of Robert Rodriguez's kids say, let's call one of the aliens Mayor McCheese, and they Star Wars'd it up and turned it to Mock Shies.
Yeah, that'd be
started
funny.
out as McCheese. That'd be funny.
That would be funny.
But no, So Robert Rodriguez, is he just gonna play a character per episode or something, you think?
Possibly.
Because in the first episode,
probably.
In the first episode, he's Drox Strassi. He's like the Trandoshan who gives him the Wookiee pelt. In this episode, he's the mayor. So I'm wondering if he's gonna have a cameo in each episode. He's gonna have like a credited cameo coming up. That'd be funny.
I agree.
So let's see. Oh, why don't you tell our viewers how we like to do our watch party format?
Yeah, I was actually going to actually say let's pause for that, but let's go with it. So everybody who's watching right now, this is what we do. As soon as the episode goes live, what we will do is we'll turn off our cameras, turn off our sound because due to copyright reasons, we can't show you the show. We're trying to figure out how we could do it on a watch party, but we still haven't figured out the technology yet, especially now with Apple and Disney Plus doing watch party linking. We're testing it out right now, so stay tuned. If it isn't for this series, it'll be for another. Once the episode goes up and we turn off our audio, we turn off our video, we will start watching the program. Usually it's around 11:50, and that's what typically it's been like. As soon as the episode is completed, well, I don't know if you've been doing this, Jeffrey, but I have. I've scrubbed to the end to make sure there's no extra scenes or anything that's added to the credits. And then we come back and we discuss about that episode for about 30 to 40 minutes, depending. If there's a good conversation, we'll go longer. So that's what we do here. And we will put in the comments. We'll be right back after the episode to make sure that everybody knows that we'll be right back. And that's the way we work things. So, Jeffrey, continue.
So we better not get another short episode this week. Like, if we get more of that. Last week was that was like, if they're a similar length to what we had last week, I can tolerate that.
Yeah.
What happened with the first
48, episode, right? 48 minutes last week?
It was like a decent 48 minutes. Now, if it's closer to that 34-minute crap in the first episode, we're gonna have problems. And I'm not gonna be quiet about it.
Yeah.
You know? I can imagine these episodes are expensive, but like come on here. This is your streaming platform. These are your original shows. Like, we shouldn't be getting like slightly above a half hour here. We should be getting at least like a good like 44 minutes. Give us a good chunk of time here, Yeah. You agree, right?
I agree with you completely. Like, I mean, it isn't. Yeah, they are expensive to shoot. Don't get me wrong about that. But you're shooting them like a movie. They're not shooting them like traditional weekly sitcoms or weekly shows. They're shooting everything at once. All it is editing. And I think that's the thing is the editing. I don't see why a 30-minute show should even be in discussion on this, especially considering there's only 7 episodes. You would think that it would be an hour episode per episode.
So Daniel Logan is still being credited as young Boba Fett. So I wonder how they do that, considering Daniel Logan. Yeah, for the flashbacks, because Daniel Logan is not like little young Boba anymore. He's a grown man. Exactly. So I wonder if that's like just digital image kind of stuff.
Could be
special effects,
likeness.
Yeah.
Since you have to credit him even if they use his likeness.
I guess that's part of it, kind of like what they did with Luke in season 2, even though that was probably. I doubt they. I mean, I think they had Mark Hamill there, but I doubt he did very much for that scene. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, they did in that series that they have after the show ends, where they look into the making of the
Yeah, the
season.
making of the man.
Yeah, he was there. Hamill was there, but I doubt, like you said, I doubt he did much.
Okay. Now, okay, so John from Nerd Reactor, he was talking about Jake the Muss after the movie today,
Mm-hmm.
which was this character Tamara Morrison played in this film. Have you seen this film Once Were Warriors? It was one of
Yeah.
his early film roles.
Mm-hmm. I have seen it.
So he's like this rough brutish rugby player.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's at like we get out of the movie, he's like, "What's Jake the Muss?" I'm like, "What? What is I don't know. What is Jake the Muss?" So I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's Tamara Morrison," and he's like, "Is he a pro wrestler?" I mean, I've never heard of it. I've never seen this movie. Is this a good movie?
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Definitely defined who he was in his acting.
You know, you want to know like one of the okay, the first movie I saw Tamara Morrison in. Here we go.
Mhm.
And I remember seeing him in a movie is I'm pretty sure it's Speed 2. Yeah, he's in the movie.
Oh,
He's in
shoot, I didn't
Speed
know
2
that.
with Sandra Bullock and Jason Patrick.
Damn, I don't remember that.
He's like, this movie has quite a cast if you think about it. You have Willem Dafoe as the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
You have Tamara Morrison. You have Jason Patrick, who never really, he never really became a big star.
Yeah.
But Tamara Morrison, he's like the captain of the cruise line, or he's like one of the crew members in this film, and he's like I think he's the captain of the ship, or he's like the guy who drives the ship or something. But this is the first movie I remember seeing Tamara Morrison in, and then the other movie. Okay. There's a Pam and Tommy connection here. You know Pam and Tommy on Hulu? Have you watched the show yet?
Yeah, I have.
So, Barbed Wire, he's like the ex-boyfriend of Pamela Anderson's character in the movie Barbed Wire. So I'm gonna try to find a photo of Tamara Morrison.
I don't even remember him in that either.
He's in that. He was in a
remember
lot of.
Wire,
Basically, Tamara Morrison, you were in a lot of crappy movies in the 90s, my man.
Hey, come on,
But you want to know what? You want to know what? The dude got to make out with Pamela Anderson in the 1990s. So good for that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now the question is, did he come back with something or not? But
did he what?
Come back with something or not? Because
what do you mean come back with? Here's a photo of him.
You know how Pam Anderson was back in the day.
I think she was. When did she get married to Tommy Lee?
I don't remember. Let me share the screen.
It might have already been married at that point.
Yeah. Well, even more of a reason why to be careful. But shoot.
They were married for 3 years. When did I want to?
I don't remember how long that was. But I know there's a movie coming out about it.
Okay, so yeah, she was married. She was probably at least with or married to Tommy Lee at that point. So, and is Tamara Morrison married?
Yeah,
that's what I want to know.
I don't know.
But hey, he got to have. This guy has had. So, think about this: Tamara Morrison has had on-screen romances with Nicole Kidman and Pamela Anderson.
Yeah. Lucky
and
guy.
maybe next it's going to be Jennifer Beals or Ming-Na.
It's possible.
Like this guy, Tamara Morrison, is winning at life.
I agree. And episode 3 is on now.
All right.
So cool.
We will talk to you soon, folks.
Exactly. We'll be
Enjoy
right
the
back.
ride. The Book of Boba Fett, Episode 3. Here we go. $39. Son of a... All right. The Book of Boba Fett. Episode 3 in the books. What was this one called? Chapter 3. Do we not have a title here? It was another Robert Rodriguez episode this week. A lot happened. A lot of guest stars. Stephen Root and Danny Trejo. Of course, the one directed by Robert Rodriguez is going to have a Danny Trejo cameo or a role. So that was great. Danny Trejo making his Star Wars debut. Shorter episode this week, but it is what it is. I feel like we had an Amy Sedaris cameo, but I don't know if that was her. They used a body double.
Yep, I'm back. I've just finished it.
Yep. All right, we had our first Danny Trejo appearance this week, so that was good.
Here we go. Happy to see
Danny Trejo, man. Danny Trejo in Star Wars. How awesome is that?
Very happy to see Danny Trejo in a Star Wars film or television series. And a perfect role too as a Rancor.
77 years old. Mm-hmm. Danny Trejo, way to go for him.
Yep, exactly.
Something tells me he was training that Rancor to get ready to he's doing some sort of long game with that Rancor to eat Boba Fett, or I don't know.
I don't know, but
something seemed kind of sinister about that guy.
Exactly.
Did that character have a name?
I don't know if he had a name.
So let's see. Phil Lamar was the Pike boss.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Lamar, voice actor, comedian, Mad TV, Samurai Jack, Jon Stewart in Justice League, Hermes from Futurama. Let's see who else we have in the cast here. Well, we had a fight with Black Chrysanthemum this week, at least.
Yeah,
he was quite formidable.
I'm doing a search right now to see what his character name is, and everything's just speculation. Because one even had it. Oh, Trejo to play Cad Bane.
No,
nope.
That would not have. You don't. But Stephen Root, as well.
Yeah.
As that kind of that water merchant. So it was great to see him. Stephen Root's a great actor.
Oh, he is.
So having him in this show, and I doubt we've seen the last of either of those characters.
Oh no, I think Trejo will be in there through the end because
I feel like he's training the Rancor to eat Boba Fett.
Like there's something
seemed off about that character.
Yeah.
So at least this week we found out why he's no longer with that Tusken tribe. They all got wiped out.
Yeah. So that idea of calling them for help is out the window.
Well, maybe they had neighboring tribes who will come to help him and honor their friendship later as as like an honorary Tusken warrior. Let's see.
Anything's possible.
So is Carrie Jones? Is Carrie Jones the one who's playing Black Chrysanthemum?
Don't know.
Actor. Yeah. So. So Carrie Jones is credited as Black Chrysanthemum.
Okay.
So it looks like he's actually like a makeup artist. So he's done a lot of makeup and effects and like effects work. So, but it looks like he also does like kind of like roles like costume type roles like this. So
Yeah,
that's interesting. So he's so I guess he was Black Crescent. So I guess Danny Trio is just Ranker Trainer for right now
yeah,
until they give that character a proper name. But still, nonetheless, it's great. It was great to see him in this show.
I
And now
agree.
he's got his own posse. Now he's got his own posse of cyborgs, one of which Sophie Thatcher, who we saw a little bit in like the trailers and TV spots.
Right.
So this is interesting because Sophie Thatcher was rumored for this show before we even knew it was going to be Book of Boba Fett.
Mhm.
She was like the first. She was like the first person cast in this show, or that I read about being cast in this show.
Yeah.
So she's. It looks like he's got a new band of proteges. Shorter episode this week, but it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't that bad in comparison to the first episode, which was
Yeah,
short. It kind of like was just it felt quick. This one was short, but it felt like it gave some info and pushed the story along.
less flashbacks this week, and more of the intrigue with the crime syndicates, the gangs. So it
Yeah,
looks like we are heading toward like an all-out gang war, basically.
yeah, and I feel better. That's why I say like it may have been a short episode, but I could live with this one.
I kind of feel like we haven't seen the last of the twins either.
Yeah,
I feel like the twins aren't really on the up and up there.
yeah.
What do you think?
I think the same thing. I think they're just trying to fool him.
Like they're trying to trick him and maybe working with the Pikes
Hmm.
and maybe, wrest control. And I don't trust the Rancor. I don't trust the Rancor trainer.
Yeah,
But what about Black Crescenta? Do you think he might come back and work for them now? Because the
I think.
Hutts cast him aside really
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah. I'm thinking that he's gonna wind up helping Boba as a payment because he let him go.
I did like that one line where Boba's like, "Take it from an ex bounty hunter. Don't work for Skugholes."
Hmm.
I think that's just kind of like the major. It's to me, this is not about a redemption arc for Boba Fett. It's
Hmm.
just sort of Boba Fett is not. He's done taking orders from people and he's done acting on the whim of others. He's not going to be anybody's servant anymore. He's
Yeah,
not
he's
he's
doing
not
things
going to
his way.
be he's going to do things his way and he's going to run the show now.
Yeah,
It's not about him being a good guy even though he wants
mhm,
to rule with respect.
yeah.
He wants to call the shots
Mhm.
now.
I think when people think like, because I've already heard the rumor that oh yeah, they're trying to turn him into a good guy. It's not about him being a good guy. It's just about him playing by his rules.
Right. And I think that's kind of what the journey with the Tusken Raiders was about.
Hmm. I
Not sort
agree.
of redeeming him as sort of like this scoundrel who would hunt people for money and kill people for money, but
Yeah.
just he's not, he's gonna live his own path now.
Hmm. I
He's
agree.
he's gonna step out and he's gonna step out of his father's shadow. I think
Yeah,
that was the other thing. He was
yeah,
kind of I don't know if that's for certain what Dave Filoni, John Favreau, and Robert Rodriguez are going for, but I get the sense that he's sort of tired of living in his father's shoes, so to speak. He's
yeah.
trying to grow beyond. What do you think?
I think so too. I think he's trying to be his own man, his own
Yeah.
boss, his own thing, do things his way, and hoping it all works out. That's what it
Uh
seems like to me. It's like it just doesn't. He's willing to go nasty if he has to and kill some people if he have to, but he was trying not to and trying to do things his own way.
I thought the car chase was a little goofy. The
Uh,
speeder chase through the
I think
city.
what it was a little goofy, but I think it was goofy because the CGI was kind of a little off at certain scenes.
It did.
And I don't know if it's just me and I caught it really quick
Yeah.
and and I'm a stickler for that stuff because I think when people on YouTube could do it flawlessly now, There's no excuse to on a budget such as this to have that type of flaws.
The Rancor, the interaction with the Rancor all looked really good, and
Oh yeah, that looked really good.
I wonder if they had like an actual working Rancor, like
Mhm.
it looked, because it looked, when it was close up and it
Mhm.
was Boba interacting with it, it looked
Yeah.
like it was really there. It
Yeah.
looked like they had a full, like, animatronic
Mm.
model of the Rancor
It looked
there.
they probably went with the hand and like part of the arms, and
It
then the
looked
rest was CGI.
That looked good. I thought the fight with Black
Mhm.
Chrysanthemum was good,
Yeah.
and I thought that moment where he goes back to the Tuscan village was
Mhm.
really sad and genuine.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of like
Mhm.
he, you know, I don't even think he shed. I mean, like we see him in Attack of the Clones. You see him all despondent, cradling, his father's decapitated head.
Yeah.
Um, and he didn't really cry, but like he
Mhm.
actually cried for the Tusken Raiders.
Mhm.
Like, that they really, I don't know. It's like he found a genuine family with
And
them,
I
like
think that I
somewhere
think you
where
may
he
be
belonged.
and I think that's what you may be right with is the fact that ever since his father passed away and well, he got his head chopped off by Mace Windu. I think he's been
He didn't
no,
cry for his father.
and I think he's been alone the whole time, and I think that was his first sense of tribe with those Tusken Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like he didn't look like he planned on leaving them. It looked like he wanted to stay with them.
Yeah.
It looked like he wanted to collect money for them, but
Mhm.
then uh, the Nikto gang, I guess,
Mhm.
wiped him out. I don't think we're done with flashbacks, though. I think we're gonna. I have the sense the flashbacks are gonna continue the whole season now,
Yeah, I think so
and I
too.
think we're just gonna get. They're gonna do like this episode. We're gonna get bits every
Mhm.
episode. We're gonna get him finding Fennec
Mhm.
in the next episodes. Him when he meets Fennec, maybe when he notices Cobb Vanth having the armor, and then Mando getting the armor. So we're gonna see it from his perspective. We're gonna see those moments from his perspective,
Yeah.
and then continue this story. That's
Yeah.
my feeling.
Yeah.
So we're not done with the flashbacks. The flashbacks, I think, are gonna continue the whole season.
Yeah. But I'm okay if the flashbacks are small like this. Like
If
just
they're
as
like
short as
this, I think it's more acceptable,
yeah.
because like this, I feel like we had a more even balance of what's
Mhm.
going on in the present storyline, or
Yeah.
the main storyline, versus the flashbacks. It
Mhm.
was a lot
Exactly.
better.
And I think that it's a lot shorter. It kind of goes with the story, it builds the plot. So I'm okay with it.
So they
But
did not credit Amy Sedaris. Who is her character from Mandalorian?
oh, she was
She's
the
the
one who
mechanic. The
yeah,
mechanic from.
took care of
We
the
saw
launch
her.
pad.
We saw her character. Who? What is her character? Peli.
Mhm.
Peli. Peli
Yeah.
Motto. So we saw a little bit of her character walking around the Mos Eisley spaceport with her little droids, her pit crew
Mhm.
droids, but we didn't get a close up. So that might not have
Mhm.
been her, but it was clearly meant to be Peli,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it looked exactly like her.
But I don't think they. Do you think they brought in Amy Sedaris for that?
Um,
Because
possible a re
she's not credited this episode. I don't
well, it
think.
could be they could have superimposed her into the shot from another scene that they shot in the
Oh,
past.
like maybe they use stock footage
Yeah.
or something.
Mhm.
That's it. That's interesting. So let's see. I'm looking at some of the other credits here.
'Cause it's kinda hard to put her in Mos Eisley and not see her.
That was meant to be Moss Isley, though, right? Because it
Yes.
had
Yeah.
you had the stormtrooper. You had the storm. That's neat, because we see them putting the stormtrooper helmets on the
Mhm.
spikes, because that was part of
The first season of The
that was
Mandalorian,
part of the
wasn't
first season. We saw that
it? Mhm.
interesting imagery when he goes,
Yeah.
of the stormtrooper helmets on the spikes, and
Mhm.
then now we got our first look at them just placing the heads on. So a
Yeah.
nice little way to connect,
Mhm.
these two shows, I think.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. So I mean I think the show's chugging along.
Yeah.
I think this was not as good as last week, but I think
Mhm.
it was better than the first episode, I would say.
Oh yeah.
I think the show is finding its footing.
Mhm.
They're opening the world up,
Mhm.
and we're getting some good guest stars.
Exactly. I agree with you. You're getting great actors who are on the show. It's really pushing the story along as well.
More Stephen Root, more Danny Trejo, and I think he's
Mhm.
straight. I think he's. I don't. Boba Fett, I would watch yourself around that rancor. Like make sure that rancor does not see you as its dinner. I
Well,
don't.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like a lot of things. That Rancor trainer was saying
Mhm.
about Rancors did not seem consistent with what we know about Rancors from Return of the Jedi. But
Exactly.
but maybe
But
I don't know. Maybe we've always had the wrong point of view about Rancors.
well, maybe exactly. Maybe it's like a abused pet bull that chose
Yeah.
to fight.
Maybe they're like fighting dogs and
Uh-huh.
they're not treated right.
Exactly.
So, but at least they've got a Rancor in the Rancor pit now, and they don't have to fake it.
Exactly. It's not. It's actually there now. So there's something for them to fear when
Let's
they're
see.
at the temple.
But I wonder if Phil Lamar was actually wearing that Pike Syndicate costume or just did the
Mhm.
voice.
I don't know.
And we didn't get Mayor Mock Shies
Nope.
this week. Matt Berry. Why does
She's
that name
gone.
why does that name Matt Berry sound familiar?
Matt Berry.
Oh, Matt Berry was in the show.
Yeah.
Matt Berry from what is it? What We Do in the Shadows. Who was
Mhm.
he?
He's eight D8. I think he is.
Oh my god, he's the droid.
Yep.
Oh, that's perfect. I knew that droid sounded familiar.
Hmm.
That is perfect. That's oh man. He's voicing Boba's droid.
It's like it only took us 3 episodes to really recognize it.
I didn't even
I didn't.
notice that. I didn't
Me
even know
neither.
that was Matt Berry. Oh man, this
Me
show.
neither.
All right, the stock of this show just went up 100-fold, Mike. We've got Matt Berry from Toast of London, The
Mhm.
It Crowd, and What We Do in Shadows. He is playing 8D8,
Mhm.
who was in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And did you also notice we saw that little spider droid from
Mhm.
the Return of the Jedi showed
Yep.
up as well?
Oh, and the frog too, with the womp rat
Yeah,
walking around and the frog eating him.
yep, the frog from outside Jabba's palace was it's a
Yeah.
nice little callbacks.
Exactly.
I think I wonder how they use those banthas though.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you think they build like a whole bantha?
I think they build half. I don't think they build the whole thing anymore. I think they build whatever's on camera.
All right. Well, that was episode 3
Yeah.
of the Book of Boba
Mhm.
Fett. Did they even give this a title this week? Where do you look up the titles?
It was something on the streets of forgot what the name of the series, but it was on. Yeah, they showed the title for this week. Let me go to the episode guide. Oh, they
Yeah, I'm
just said
trying.
episode 3. But yeah, we don't have anything on it. I haven't seen anything on the title yet.
Oh, here we go.
What was it again?
So they
Oh,
do it after the opening title. Let's see.
yeah,
The Streets of
it's
Mos
Mos
Espa.
Espa.
Streets of Mos Espa. Okay. I wish they would list it on the actual Disney Plus guide.
Yeah.
Make things easy. Yeah, so some of the visual effects, I guess my only complaint would be some of the visual effects throughout this episode, like some were just not very good. Some were
Mhm.
good,
Yeah.
others were not as impressive. But
And the one thing I noticed is that, of course, daytime is always probably the hardest to put a
yeah,
special effects in. But like I say, nowadays it's kind of hard to give it a pass when people in their homes are doing it and being able
Yeah.
to make special effects just as good as movie studios can. So it's kind of hard for me to pass on that when I see it. So that's why I'm kind of like, I'm not being a snob, but you're getting a lot of money to do high quality graphics, and by now I don't think we should see that.
I guess it's just the issue is because Tatooine is this desert planet,
Hmm.
and some of those scenes, like you can tell they're not. You can tell they're not really outside, and you can tell they're not really in like a desert setting.
Yeah.
You know.
Hmm.
Now I do think some of like the Tuscan village and some of the Dune Sea stuff does look good.
Yeah.
Like some of these wide shots,
Hmm.
tracking shots. Some do look better than others, but
Hmm. I agree.
okay, now like this scene where he's going into Mos Eisley, this looks pretty good here. But then other things it does kind of have a very like soundstagey look and feel.
Hmm. There are points where you could tell something.
But
It's a
it's
little
not a
off.
deal breaker for me,
No.
but like, you know,
Hmm.
you can see the edges, you can definitely see the edges of the budget on
Yeah.
so you can see the difference. You can see the difference between like a feature.
In television.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. So at about 11:21, that's definitely Pelly,
Hmm.
but I don't think that's Amy Sedaris because we never get a nice close up of her. But that's definitely meant to be Pelly,
Yeah.
and at Mos Eisley. Okay. Anything else for you to you wanted to add
I think
for
after
tonight?
that, it's a short episode. I think we touched on everything,
Yeah.
but I'm just happy to see Danny Trejo as a Rancor. Tre as a
Yeah.
benefit of
So,
the
and
Rancor.
I imagine we're gonna see more of Danny
Oh
Trejo,
yeah.
especially if Robert Rodriguez has anything to say about it, and hopefully more Stephen Root and more Matt Berry as 88.
Well, I don't think Matt Berry's going anywhere as 88. I think he's
I
going to be there throughout the whole show.
But I feel so disappointed I didn't catch on to him being 88 before this week.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy about that. So yeah. All right. So I guess we'll be back here next week
Yep.
for episode 4. So
Next
provided
Wednesday, it's going to
provided the
be.
world is still spinning, because who knows? Who the hell knows at this point?
Will we
Who
be
knows
able to
what's
go
gonna
out and
happen
work?
tomorrow?
Will we be able to go out and work? Let's just put it that way.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
But
Who knows?
yeah, but we'll be back here next week. So there you go.
Sure. God will.
So how could they find you,
All
Jeffrey?
right. So once again, I am the J to the E to the double F-ree. You can check me out on Twitter at Wheeljack83. Check out my reviews, interviews, 411mania.com. Check out my reviews of Spider-Man No Way Home, The Kingsman, The Witcher Season 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife, my interview with the cast and crew of Ghostbusters Afterlife. And check out my podcast, the 411 Wrestling Interviews Podcast. My latest interview is now up with John Alba, and my next review will be up on 411mania.com/movies later this week. It is a new big movie coming out later this week. Mike mentioned it earlier.
I thought I thought you were able to talk about it already.
I don't know.
I thought you
What?
could say that I thought you could say you could see
Play
it.
stupid games, win stupid prizes. Movies. It's a
Yeah.
big movie. You know what it is.
Exactly. And for me, you can find us here at you can find me here on MUSE TV. This is where I am at. I'm here all the time. So find me here. We have a great interview with Cody Rhodes, Jennifer Nettles. We got Tina Majorino. Yeah, got it in one shot. Boom. I'm happy about that.
The kid from Waterworld
And also Napoleon Dynamite.
and
Deb from
Napoleon Dynamite.
Deb
Yeah.
from Napoleon Dynamite. So go on there, check it out. We have some great other interviews where we actually have the CEO of Otherworld Computing coming on tomorrow, talking about their new products and everything about the new Macs and how that's going to work with for third party companies like themselves. So we got a lot
Well,
of good stuff coming
I'm
up.
gonna go check out Tina Majorino right now because that
She's
sounds
awesome.
really cool. Yeah.
She's awesome, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, enjoyed the interviews, enjoyed what you saw today for chapter 3 of the Book of Boba Fett. And we'll see you next week, same time, 11:30. Come on, be a part of it. We're gonna try and plus it in the future. Hopefully next week we'll be ready to plus it up. But hey, thank you, Jeffrey, and we'll see everybody next week here on the Book of Boba Fett watch party and after show.